but human beings were never meant to succeed alone. And I have unfortunately learned that the hard way time and time again. Why? Stubborn entrepreneurs or the entrepreneurial minded. The more we try to succeed without the help and the assistance of those who can truly bring us what we don't have, it's powerful. Our best ideas don't come just in isolation. They come in community.
Hey, champions, welcome to another training that we have for you. These monthly trainings for Champion Circle for you to learn about the principles of Think and Grow Rich. It's brought to you with this wonderful company called Champion Circle because Champion Circle is the professional business where you accelerate your business growth with accountability. If you are an entrepreneur or a business owner who is wanting to not only structure, but gain the momentum and real results in 90 days, Champion Circle is the part for you. And I say that because today the principle we're talking about is the principle of the mastermind. Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, as we bring to you every single week. My bad. Every single month, we bring to you a new principle. And this one is the mastermind. And you're going to be able to hear from some awesome speakers today. First, you're going to hear from the founder of Champion Circle, Mr. Jon Kovach Jr. And then afterwards, I have the pleasure to be able to share with you my experience on this topic. So without further ado, let's jump into it. We'll turn it right over to the founder of Champion Circle, Mr. Jon Kovach Jr., who will be talking to us about how masterminds save lives. Jon, go ahead.
I'll never forget the day I crawled under my desk to grab a fallen pen. And as I'm reaching to the deepest, darkest parts of that desk, I heard myself whisper to myself these words: I wish I could hide under here all day. On the surface, I had everything: a salaried job, a clear path to success and growth. I had lots of benefits and the chance to rub shoulders with some of the most successful entrepreneurs in my city. But in that moment, I realized something profound. I was on the wrong path. I wasn't hiding from my boss. I was hiding from a future that didn't align with who I was meant to become and my true desires associated with it. So when I retrieved that pen under the deepest, darkest parts of my desk and coming to the realization that those words were truly coming from within, I used this pen to write my resignation letter that same day. Now, I've told this story over and over and over again because it represents a transition in my life that I think is monumentous to understand. And I had no backup plan. That's the important part to understand here is I wrote a resignation letter without a plan. No other job was lined up, just a sense that I was built for something greater. So one thing I do share though is that just weeks before, I stumbled into a small networking group in Salt Lake City. They called it a mastermind. Imagine a room full of entrepreneurs, leaders, dreamers, all the working together. They were sharing ideas, they were holding each other accountable, and pushing one another toward their goals. For the first time, I experienced what Napoleon Hill described in his book, Think and Grow Rich, that when two or more minds come together in harmony, a third invisible force emerges. Call it synergy, call it infinite intelligence. I call it magic. But whatever it was, I knew I needed more of it. Thus began a huge transition for me. There was just one problem, though, about this mastermind group. That mastermind cost over $500 a month to be a member and to regularly attend and sit at the table. And I had just quit my job. So I did whatever I could to not only keep the lights on and feed my family at home. I did whatever it took. So I drove for Uber, I delivered pizzas, I helped classmates, spruce up their resumes as I had experience in that. I even donated my own plasma just to keep the lights on and to keep my seat at that table. Why? You might think I'm crazy, but because I knew the value that that room had. I wasn't the wealthiest person there. Clearly, I had no income, but I became the hardest worker. I fought for the opportunity chair, which is what we call the hot seat, where members share their biggest challenges and receive counsel from the group. That counsel was worth every ounce of effort, sweat, blood, and tears that went into making sure that I could be at that table. And because I gave so much resources, encouragement, connections, all of the other members of this mastermind poured even more back into me. This reciprocity was absolutely contagious. And within just a few short months, I was earning more than I had at my corporate job. But more importantly than money, I was building a life aligned with my purpose. And that couldn't have been found or created or imagined for me without that mastermind group. But it wasn't just me. I was sitting amongst a table of many entrepreneurs who were going through their own life crises or business building opportunities. For example, a local suit tailor tripled his customer base and turned tailoring into a subscription business model. A woman was selling synthetic dreadlocks online and she went absolutely viral through the help of the mastermind, shipping products around the globe. A health coach not only lost like 100 pounds plus and transformed his body, but he transformed his business, attracting clients that more clients than he could handle. And even an 18-year-old, there was someone younger than me in this mastermind. An 18-year-old with one drone went from scooping ice cream every evening to making six figures filming real estate with his drone. These weren't just success stories, they were proof. Proof that when people commit to each other's growth, miracles can happen. Lives are saved. So let's talk about the anatomy of a mastermind. So, what makes a mastermind work? It isn't just luck or meeting and talking and strategizing. Napoleon Hill called it organized effort in a spirit of harmony. Let's try that again. Organized effort in a spirit of harmony. In practice, it looks like this: one, a clear leader and structure; two, rules and agreements that protect trust; three, accountability, where commitments aren't just spoken, they're recorded and measured over time, week to week, month to month, whatever it may be. And last and above all, it's an environment where generosity comes first. Let me repeat that last one: where generosity comes first. Cultivating an environment for that. Because we all have probably heard the old adage by Zig Ziglar, or the late Zig Ziglar. And he says, you can have anything in this world if you help enough people get what they want first. So, an environment of generosity was definitely the key. Because the secret is this: the more you pour into a mastermind, okay, into a group, into that field of trust, the more it pours back into you. It's a literal exponential equation. The more you put into it, the bigger the number, okay? Exponentially, it spits back out to you. It's become my mission since. That's what I learned about a mastermind. That one group changed everything for me. It led me to train youth leaders with the Latinos in Action group all across the country. It allowed me to run mastermind groups across the globe. Eventually, I founded a company when you're familiar with today called Champion Circle, which is our community built to multiply prosperity through that methodology. And I've watched these principles scale in other people while helping entrepreneurs, nonprofits, even students, or even C suite executives. Across every industry and every country I've visited, the mastermind absolutely works, no matter what, because it's that unity, it's that magic. But human beings were never meant to succeed alone. And I have unfortunately learned that the hard way time and time again. Why? Stubborn entrepreneurs or the entrepreneurial minded. The more we try to succeed without the help and the assistance of those who can truly bring us what we don't have, it's powerful. Our best ideas don't come just in isolation. They come in community. So here's my question for you. Who's in your mastermind? Who challenges you? Who lifts you higher? Who keeps you accountable when you want to quit? Who causes you to get up and to go deliver pizzas, donate plasma, or to do whatever it takes to make sure you have a seat at the table? And it might be you who invited people to that table, but yet you're fighting for a spot because of the competitive nature of helping one another and giving more than receiving, because you know the more you give, the more you will get. If you don't have those people yet, you can find them, build them up, become them for someone else, and start there. At Champion Circle, we have that community. We have people who are striving to accomplish their goals, working together in unison, building trust among one another so that they too can succeed, using accountability to measure their success and to accelerate the results over time. We have a community and you're invited. Because when we come together in harmony with purpose, we unlock something greater than ourselves. And that, my friends, is how we think and grow rich. Thank you.
Jon, thank you for that. And it is true. The mastermind, the what we learn in Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, that is how you truly think and grow rich. Appreciate your thoughts. And now I have the wonderful opportunity to share with you my thoughts on this awesome topic as I jump into not just the mastermind, but how using the mastermind gets you further than if you do it alone. I want to ask you this question. When was the last time that you had this revolutionary thought by yourself? Some of you might say, well, I just had it the other day. Some might say it was a couple months ago, but I can probably guarantee 99% of the time it was because of something that happened to you, something outside of your story, outside of your perspective, that finally hit something in your brain that connected the wires, and you finally thought, that's it. At the beginning of this year, I wanted to lose weight. It seems like that's like what everybody wants to do. You hear New Year's resolutions, you hear losing weight. Right up there next to spend more time with the family and make more money. Right up there with everything that we want in life is to lose weight, look good, and smile while doing it. Ever since the 8th grade, I want you to come back with me to the 8th grade. Imagine walking down your middle school hallway. And as you turn a corner, you see standing in the hallway by himself is this short, chubby kid. Doesn't have any confidence, really shy, just waiting for the door to open to get to his next class so that he can sit by himself, get the grades that he needs to, and hopefully get home so that he can play his video games, eat his snacks, and watch his movies. That was me. I've been overweight since I was in the 8th grade. I look back at pictures and I think, how did I get there? How in the world can, in 8th grade, which is about, I believe, 13 or 14 years, 12 or 13 years old, I looked at myself and there's this short, chubby kid. And throughout high school, after high school, into serving a religious mission, into college and beyond that, I always, in my mind, thought of myself as just this chubby person. And it wasn't until the beginning of this year, which I made a goal for myself to just lose some weight. I hit my max weight of 295. 295 pounds was this little keg that I got hanging on me. And to bypass the humility of it, to bypass me and my mind thinking you're not good enough. Anything you do ain't gonna work. So why are you even trying? When you go out with all these entrepreneurs who are achieving stuff and these successful people who are doing things, are you not a fraud? Because you can't even control your own weight. These were thoughts going through my head. But there was something that happened that made me want to change. I got a part of a group. And this group, we met every single day, 7 in the morning. It was an accountability group. It was with one of my mentors and several other people. And every single day, we came together to be able to talk about what is the goal for this week, what is the goal for next week. And every single week, we'd come up with what are we going to achieve this week that goes to a longer goal that we're going for. I didn't want to be this fat kid. I don't want to be this big adult. I don't like walking out and having to wear a shirt every time that I go to the swimming pool or to a lake. I don't like the way that I look. And it came to that head at the beginning of this year. And I thought to myself, what do I have to do to change? Because I've been through everything. I've dieted. I've done the whole P90X and T25. I've done the whole going and trying to get all the junk food out of the house and just eat salad. I've tried just making smoothies for breakfast and lunch, then dinner's a small meal. I've tried cutting out calories. I've tried more protein. Like I've tried all this, and all of it got me back to the same place that I was until this grew, until more people came along. And they helped me to realize that it's not about the system that you use that other people think that it's going to work. It's about the one that works for you. And in my experience, the one that works for me is the one that is easier for me to do with the accountability of someone else. Let me say that again. The system that works best for me and for other people is one that is easy and you're able to do with the accountability of someone else. Because a lot of times we get confused when it comes to accountability, imagination. And when it comes to accountability, we think that if we have somebody to keep us accountable and just be there, everything's going to be great. But if it's too hard, then we stop showing up, regardless of if people are there. And on the flip side, if you are doing something that's easy, but then don't have an accountability person, unless you are of the highest of integrity, do what you say, unless you are someone who never makes mistakes, then sometime you're going to fall back, just like I did. So from the beginning of this year to this date, I'm proud to say that I've lost 30 pounds. I went from 295 now to 265 and continuing on. And I look back and I think, what was the thing that helped out the biggest? What was the thing that helped out the most? And it was this thing called masterminding. Masterminding in Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich talks about bringing a group together in harmony, trying to achieve something of a like-minded goal. And I know I butchered that a little bit, but the synopsis is there. Bringing together in harmony of trying to achieve something of like-mindedness. And it doesn't have to be the same thing. Because in that group, for me, it was losing weight. For another person, it was making more money. For a separate person, it was simply being able to manage their time and their life with their kids that they had. All that together, we simply all wanted to be better in our own areas. And because we came together, 3 things happened. The first thing was accountability. I was telling people exactly what was happening with my weight loss. I didn't lie about it. I said, I am at my max weight and I want to lose it. I don't like the way I am. I've been there since the 8th grade, and I need someone to not hold my hand like micromanaging, but someone to just be there so that when I don't do what I say I don't do, that you can come in and say, "Hey, Willie, we got to change this up. We got to stick to it. You've fallen. Now it's time to get up." That accountability aspect helps out so much. Because again, if we just do it ourselves, we don't do much. Like with our New Year's resolutions, so many people are like, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to spend more time with my family. I'm going to make more money. And then the statistics show that within 2 weeks, within 4 weeks, within 2 months, at least 50% of people stop going after their goal. And I think it's because they don't have this thing called the mastermind, which one part of it is the accountability side. The second part is that you gain more perspective when other people are around you. We have our own perspective, we have our own mindset, we have our own experiences and wisdom and knowledge that we've accumulated. But that can only solve a problem a certain way. When you bring other people in, they have their own perspectives and knowledge and wisdom and experiences. And when you combine that together with the harmony we talked about, then you're able to find different solutions for the problem that you've been facing. And it took me to be in a group like that to finally, after all these fad diets, all these need to work out, have a gym membership, after all of that, listening to them, listening to the ones who actually have lost weight, what's worked for them, I was able to sit back and say, okay, what works for me personally is doing things in bursts, doing things of all in nature, and making it fun, making the gamified system. Incorporating those things together helped me go from 295 to 265, losing that 30 and continuing on. So when you have that perspective from other people, you gain more insight, which then leads to the third one, which is this thing called the third mind. Not only can you learn from people's experiences, but when we are all together in this mastermind format, grouped together in that harmony, there's this weird thing that's called a third mind, which in simple terms is I have one mind, someone has another mind, but then the solution that comes up, the ideas and the insights that occur would not have happened if I was by myself, if they were by themselves. But it happened because as we were talking and as we were discussing, this new idea appeared out of nowhere. And it's funny because it kind of is just like out of nowhere. But it's because of the ability of when we bring people together and we are all trying to do something more, all trying to achieve something that we both want. This it's not an entity, but this like this third mind, this ability to of insight happens that it just unleashes this whole new realm of ideas. It's the same reason why a Fortune 500 company doesn't have one employee. They have a board. They have a CEO, they have the COO, they have the CT, they have the CTA, they have the ABCs and the XYZs. They have all their chief officers, right? And then they also have their board of directors. There's a reason why there's not just one person doing it. It's because when you bring them all together, there is something magical that happens. When you bring people together in the true mastermind method, you get more than just sitting there by yourself. Stephen R. Covey says something like this, which is called synergy, which if you can imagine two people walking up the hill and to this apple tree, and there's 5 apples on the tree. One person reaches up and they can't reach a single one. So one person can't do it and the other person reaches up, they can't get any either. So the 1 plus 1 equals 0. But then if that one person were to then get on the shoulders of another, then they're able to get all 5 apples, to which then 1 plus 1 is 5. So if 1 equals 0 in the situation, I know I said 1 plus 1 equals 0, but if 1 equals 0, but then 1 plus 1 equals 5, just imagine the more people that you can get together that are in harmony and are trying to do the same thing, how much of multiples you'll get in the results that you have. So my challenge for you is that with this mastermind methodologies that Napoleon Hill talks about and bringing people together, I want you to find 1 or 2 people yourself. The goal that you and have it be those people who are trying to achieve the same goal that you have. And I want you to see that through the accountability, through the perspectives that are in there that you bring from each person, as well as the harmony of the true mastermind and that third mind, you are going to get accelerated results way more than if you did it alone. And if you don't have that group, come to Champion Circle. We do this with many business owners and entrepreneurs. We have groups that can help you, and we are all like-minded because we all want to improve. And if that's you, you should come to one of our meetings. But find 1 or 2 of those people who can go with you, because when you have people together, you can achieve more. And all in all, isn't it just better to actually get the result that we want rather than trying to do it solo and never reaching it at all? Go forward, champions, and make the mastermind and achieve the results you have always wanted to achieve. And with that, thank you, champions, for joining us and letting me share my experience, as well as the founder, Jon Kovach Jr., to share his, as we give it to you of Think and Grow Rich, the principle of the mastermind. And with that, thank you for being here. Thank you for being the champions that you are. Continue to go out, find those mastermind groups, find those people who are like-minded with you. If you don't have your group, come to Champion Circle. Come to one of our roundtables, mychampionscircle.com/events, and you'll be able to schedule yourself for one of those roundtables. Come, you'll see some familiar faces as well as new faces that all together work in harmony to help us all accelerate the results that we want. You're awesome, and we'll see you on the next training.